Hi, welcome back to another One Chart lesson. Today we're doing a song from Far Cry 5 called Now That This Old World Is Ending by Dan Romer. It's an instrumental song and it's largely finger picking. You probably need to go finger picking with this rather than a pick, so drop that pick, download your One Chart, put it in front of you, and we're going to go through it very slowly. A lot of it's played by a banjo, and there's a lot of orchestral sounds in there. So I'm going to put the link in the description to the actual piece that I have transcribed this from, so that there's no confusion, because there's a few different versions out there. The sort of intro section, we'll go through that first. That's in free time, which means that there's no real strict tempo to it. So you can play it nice and loosely and take your time with it. After that, it settles into a more regular 4/4 time. But we'll take you through the first intro part of it first, which you've just heard me play, and it goes something like this. Like I said, you play that in free time, so take it as slowly as you want to get those notes right. What we're doing is moving from an A minor, and I like to rake through that chord. You don't have to, you can pick it all at once, which is just grabbing all the strings with your fingers. Make sure that you can see my hand here. Just grabbing all the strings with your fingers, and then putting your pinky on the 3rd fret B string, playing the open E string, come back to the 3rd fret B string, back down to the 1st fret. So you never leave that 1st fret, you just leave that finger there, so you can walk up to the 3, over to the E string, back to 3, back to 1 on the B. If you want to rake through that, put your fingers on all 4 strings, your thumb on the A string, and your 1st, 2nd and 3rd fingers on the D, G and B strings. And starting with your thumb, just peel your hand off the strings, keeping the shape of your hand, and just peel gently off, picking the strings in close succession, one after the other. Like I said, that's an option. You don't need to do that if you don't feel comfortable with it. After you've done that, then we reach over to the G, which is the 3rd fret E string, as well as the open G and the 3rd fret B. And you pick those 3 strings. With those two fingers, doesn't matter, but thumb on the bass string. Followed by the open E string, come back to the A minor chord and grab a few strings out of that. If you want to grab the whole chord, you can do that. Then there's a little pause, round about a bar. Then we move to this chord position, which is 3rd fret D string, 2nd fret G string, 3rd fret B string. Play that, followed by the open E string. Then you change this, put your 1st finger across the D, G and B string, 2nd fret, like you're playing an A chord like that. Keep your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret B string. So you go, followed by the 1st fret B string, followed by the open D and 2nd fret G string. So it's like a D power chord. So you go. Move into the 2nd line, starts the same way, A minor chord. This time we're taking a D-shaped chord up on the 5th fret. So 5, 6 and 5. Be careful to just pick those 3 strings. 3rd fret E string, followed by the top 3 strings of a C chord, but you only need to play the open G string, 1st fret B string and open E string, so like that. So you go. Another pause of around about a bar. Again, it's loose, free time. Then we move to this shape here, which is put your 1st finger, this time across the 3rd fret, those same 3 strings, D, G and B. Those 3 strings, those 3 notes. But put your 3rd finger on the G string 5th fret. So you get that little chord. And you can look up what these chords are named, but it's not really important. We're just dealing with some shapes here, and it's going to be simple if we just move through them without talking too much about the actual chord names of these 3 notes. Anytime you get 3 notes together, you can call it a chord of some description, but it's not really going to help us here. So we're moving through it. 3, 5, and 3. Put your pinky up on the 5th fret B string next. Then come back to that 2, 2, 3 shape that we did just before on the same strings. Down to the 1st finger, down to the 1st fret B string, and then this time finish on a G chord. And you can strum it or pick it all together like that. So. That's the end of your intro. Then we move through like a little section, I don't know, 30 seconds or so, where it's lots of orchestral kind of droning sort of sounds. There's some violin, semi-melodies weaving through it and stuff, but we're just concentrating on the main section here with the guitar. So after we do that, then we move into some regular time. And the first bar goes like this. After 2 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4. So on the last 2 beats, we start, it's kind of like spelling out a C chord. You start on the 3rd fret A string, open D, hammered onto 2, followed by the open G string. Now we're moving to 1st fret E string, which is our F note, and this 2nd fret G string, which is an A note. But what that's spelling out for us, and what we want to do, is put our hands across an F major bar chord, because they're the next notes we're spelling out, right? So start with those 2, then you fill in the rest of the F bar chord up to the B string. So you go 1 and 2, and then start with your thumb on the A string, pick all the way through, and I like to use a different finger for each one of those strings. So you're going 3, 3, 2, 1 on the B. Now this is easiest played open G, 5th fret G with your 2nd finger, and 5th fret E with your 3rd finger. You can play that 5th fret G on the 1st fret B, but then you've got a big stretch to get up to 5. So I think it's easier to go. Then we're moving through to the next bar. We're going to grab a C chord, but put our pinky on the 3rd fret E string. Then play the A string and the E string together. So 3rd fret A string, 3rd fret E string. With your thumb, move across, play the 2nd fret A string. Then grab the open G and open E strings. So you're lifting your pinky off. Grab those 2 together. Then move to this chord, which is kind of like an E minor 7, but the important thing is the 2nd fret A string, 3rd fret B string. And the easiest way to do that is with your 2nd finger on the A string and your pinky on the B string. So you're going. Right, after you do that, open D string, open G string with the 1st fret B string. Then we're back to our F bar chord again, leading with the same 2 strings, the E string and the G string, on 1 and 2 frets. Spell it out. Then you take your hands off and play open G, 1st fret B, 1st fret F, and then we're moving on to the next bar. Again, based around a C chord, but what we're doing is playing the A string 3rd fret with the E string open together, followed by the 2nd fret D string. Put your 1st finger on the 1st fret E string, so you're going. Then open D and 3rd fret B together. Pinky is a good finger to use there on the B, because straight after that you want your 2nd fret A string. Sorry, you want your 2nd fret G string, which is an A note. last note in the bar is that open E string. So back to the F chord, but this time we're playing the first fret E string with the first fret B string. So you're just grabbing a different note out of that F bar chord with your finger. Spelling it through again. Go open G, 5th fret G, 5th fret E again. So that same little leading. Then back to our C chord with the 3rd fret E string on the top. Back to our F chord, this time both E strings. So the bottom E string and the top E string, 1st fret. Lift your fingers off, go open G, 1st fret B, 1st fret E. Then open E and open E together, followed by open G, 1st fret E string, high E string, so it's then 3rd fret E and 3rd fret B together, open G, open E, open G, so I'll play that bar again. Then we're back to our A minor. You start with the A string, followed by the 2nd fret D string, and you're spelling out that melody again. So we go 1, 3 on the B, open E, 3 on the B, 1 on the B again, like we did before. 3 on the E and 3 on the B together again for this next bar, followed by open G string, back to the 3rd fret B string, open E string. So you hold your hand there and go back to an A minor, spell it out one note at a time. That 1 on the B string carried over into the next bar, so you hold that for twice as long as you do those other notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then move on to the next bar. Then we do a slightly different position here, again leading with the F, 1st fret E string, 3rd fret D string, and your pinky goes on the 3rd fret B string, so you get followed by open E, three on the A, 3 on the B together. Lift your pinky off, go down to 1 on the B. So then D string, followed by 2nd fret G string, 3rd fret B string, back to the 2nd fret G string, and then we do this little rundown that goes 1, 0 on the E string, 3, 1 on the B string, and then we're kind of back to that melody again. So open A string, 2 on the D, on the B string we go 1, 3, open E string, 3 on the B, 1 on the B. Then we do this extra little chord up here, which is a little bit challenging, but once you get your fingers around it, you'll be okay. We're doing a D chord, that D chord shape on the 5th fret again, but we're also grabbing with our first finger, so now we've got to use these 3 fingers, which takes a little bit of a challenge. And your first finger goes on the 3rd fret D string. So what we're doing here is we're playing, it's essentially an F chord, but we're using a higher voicing. And pick through those notes again, lift your 3rd finger off so the next note you play is the 3rd fret E string. So it sounds like this. Once you've done that, come down to the C, play the C chord, play the 3rd fret A string with the open E string. You're just spelling out notes out of the C chord there. And then back to that other slightly odd F shape. 1 on the E, 3 on the D, 3 on the B, followed by open E string. Open D, 3rd fret B, 2nd fret G, now we do a G, 3rd fret E string, and an open G chord, and we start this little run up that goes. So that is 3 on the E with the open G, 2 on the G string, open B string, 3rd fret B string, 3rd fret E string, 5th fret E string, then 7th fret E string with the 7th fret G string together. So very next beat you land on that F, beginning of that bar chord. But all we need this time is the 1st fret E string, 2nd fret G string. Then you hear the banjo move to a, actually it might be a mandolin even, but you hear it move to a really high register, an octave higher. So it goes. Now, for a lot of us, that's not going to sound very good on our guitars. It's not your fault. It's just that a lot of guitars don't sound particularly good getting up past that 12th fret. So you can play that. All that is the same thing we did before, but an octave higher. So we can do the same thing we did before, or you can choose to do that high bit. It's up to you. But it's 0, 5, 5 on the G and the E string, like we did before, or it's 12 on the G, 13 on the G, 17 on the E string. So if you can get that high and you want to do that, that's great. If not, what we did before. Then we're coming back to 3 on the A with 3 on the E together. And we're slowing this down so there's not as many notes now. So we'll pick that, pick the open G and open E together. 2 on the A with the 3 on the B together. Open G with the 1 on the B together. So it's back to that beginning of the F bar chord, but only those 2 notes, 1 on the E, 2 on the G. The other high bit that you hear, we can also do that on 0, 1 and 1 like we did before. If you want to do it up there, that's what you do there. Three on the A, open E string. It's getting easier. 1st fret E string, open D, 3 on the B together, open E, 1 on the E and 1 on the B together. Again, that high, which can be played here. Back to 3 on the A, 3 on the E together. Open E, 2 on the A, 3 on the B. Open E. Back to the F chord, 1 on the E with 1 on the top E as well. 0, 1, 1 or 12, 13, 13. Last bit is open E's together. 1st fret, high E. 3 on the E and 3 on the B together. Followed by open E. And then the last pair of notes is the open A string and 2nd fret G string, which lands us on an A minor to finish. So I really hope that that was all clear. What I'm going to do is play through the whole piece now slowly so you can try and follow it with me. Watch my fingers if you're in doubt. I'm trying to use the most efficient fingering I can. It's not easy, so take your time and see if you can step through it with me. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, go. section. 1, 2. It's a really nice piece of music. Thanks Dan Roma for that. Take it easy, spell it out really nice and slowly. Don't be too hard on yourself because it's quite difficult. You can see I'm not playing it, perfectly yet either, but it's worth the effort. It's a really nice piece of music. So thanks for watching. Please shoot me any questions you have on this. I'm happy to help if you're not quite sure about the fingering and what fingerings to use, how to get from one note to another and make it sound nice and clean. Please let me know. I'm here to help. And I'm going to do a shout out to my nephew Corey for asking for this song. It was a request, and we hope to see you again soon for another lesson. Cheers, thanks, bye for now.